Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, June 10th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Lots to discuss. Google has finished rolling out the big Google May 2022 core update. Google released a new algorithm update for title links and how it determines some of those. Google Ads has released version 11 of the Google Ads API. It seems like more and more reviews in Google Local, Google Maps are going away for some reason, and so much more. So definitely stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsor, SEMrush. Thank you so much for sponsoring. SEMrush is one of the most beloved SEO platforms out there. They're used by almost everybody I know, at least. So definitely check them out if you aren't using them. If you use them already, give them a shout out. In any event, stay tuned for the rest. So like I said, it is now complete. The Google May 2022 broad core update is complete. It started about 16 days ago, 15 and a half days ago from this video. It was started to roll out on May 25th around noon, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And then Google said at 3:44 a.m. yesterday on June 9th that the update was completed. I wonder if it was completed before that, but whatever. And these updates are really never complete because they still roll out slowly. A lot of things happen with this core update. I personally believe this is probably one of the largest Google core updates we've seen in a long time. Definitely larger than any of the ones, in my opinion, from 2021 and so forth. And I posted a bunch of big facts around this and so forth. I mean, the tremors we saw with this specific Google core update was on May 26th, June 5th, and June 7th, and even more between those dates. But those were the big dates. And we even seen a little volatility this morning or yesterday morning and so forth. So I don't know. Hopefully you guys weren't hit too hard by this. It seems like a lot of SEOs were hit by this update and so forth. Previously in the week, we covered that it wasn't done yet. And then we covered the other tremors around June 5th or so on this past Sunday. So we definitely covered this a lot. So definitely dig into that. You'll definitely see there's tons and tons of people who commented on the various blog posts at the Search Engine Roundtable on this topic. So definitely read those comments as well. Some of these stories are just heartbreaking. Another algorithm update Google did this week was a title link update where Google may change what your title tag or your title link in the Google search results shows for your snippet. It's called the title link. The little blue link in the Google search results for your snippet is called the title link. And Google announced that if you use Latin scripted titles or multilingual or multi-language titles, but the page content doesn't represent that, it will actually go ahead and change your title tag. So if you are using, let's say your page is all in Hindi, but in the title tag or title attribute on the page, you write it both in Hindi and English. Google's gonna be like, well, this page is only in Hindi. We're gonna remove the English version of it, the multilingual version of it, and just show the Hindi because that's what the page is about. And some other things. So Google changed that. That happened actually last week. So if you notice any changes there in your click-through rates and so forth, that might be attributed to that. Also this week or month or whatever, because I did the post of the Google Webmaster report. It's a monthly report that I post every month, but I forgot to post it in May. And so I posted both the May and June report in one. I posted on June 6th, so you can actually go ahead and check out the biggest stories related to Google SEO, Webmaster related topics in that post. It covers obviously the Google May 2022 core update, the product reviews update that ended in May, a lot of unconfirmed updates as well. Google I/O, the URL parameter tool going away, maybe Google replacing FID with INP, some local stuff as well. So definitely take a look at that post to catch up on the past 2 months of Google SEO Webmaster related topics. At Google I/O, we covered how Google was testing or displayed a new tool called the page indexing report. The page indexing report basically shows you like the coverage report, but based on video content. Now, it seems like Google's actually going ahead and beta testing this. Kevin Monier, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, posted on Twitter that he actually sees it now as a beta tester for Google Search Console. He sees that live for some of his profiles, and it's pretty cool. So he shared some screenshots of that if you want to take a look at that. I posted about that this morning, June 10th. Also, Google's John Mueller said that when it comes to people using multiple HTTP result codes on a page, Google will pick the first one. So if you have 2 or 3 showing to like the server status HTTP response codes, Google, I never knew people did that, but if people do that, Google will go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to just show the first one you show. When it comes to redirects, generally, if like page A is redirecting to page B, that's not the same. And you have page A with one status code, and you have page B with another status code. Google will use probably the destination page, page B. But if you have multiple on page A, Google will use the first one you serve up in page A. Hopefully that makes sense. Google said you can, if you want, restrict your XML sitemaps to only be displayed to search engines, and humans don't have to see it. It's kind of reverse cloaking or cloaking, and you're allowed to do that specifically for XML sitemap files. Google also said, John Mueller also said that there's no real SEO benefit to hosting content on a CDN. It may make your pages a little bit faster. It may help you with crawling and indexing if your site is super slow and is super, super big, like millions or hundreds of millions of pages, and is super slow. But in general, CDNs themselves have no benefit in terms of SEO benefit for your website outside of making your site faster, which helps your users, but it's not going to necessarily help you rank better in Google search, according to John Mueller. John Mueller also explained why he doesn't like certain SEO metrics, so like DA, toxic links, and so on. I'm not going to go through all of them. Even he didn't like this PageRank score. Google got rid of their own PageRank metric, the toolbar PageRank metric as well, because he said, and we quote, "The part I struggle with, even with our tools too, is the desire to treat them as a goal of their own or as a checklist." He basically doesn't want people focusing on the wrong goals. The main goal is to make the best possible website that helps the users, yada, yada. But focusing on just improving your DA or just improving your PageRank score or just improving keyword density or just improving your toxic links is not going to directly help you with anything. You have to look at the bigger picture, and that's his issue with these SEO metrics, and that's what he said. Google Ads has launched the new Google Ads API version 11. Version 11 was released, I believe, on June 8th or so, June 7th. And that update brings another update for version 10. Well, the previous update was version 10.1, which was released April 27th, and before that was 10.0, which was released on February 9th. Google has sunset the Google AdWords API, the old AdWords API, back on April 27th, but it still works somewhat. It's going to completely stop working at the end of July. There's a bunch of features in here like assets, audiences, campaign upgrades, and conversion upgrades, and so much more. So definitely take a look at that. It may help you build even cooler tools using the Google Ads API. Google has expanded its verification program for financial service ads, specifically around financial products or financial services. This is something they launched in the UK about a year ago, back last 2021, and they say it's working so well with reducing financial scams that they're rolling it out to more regions. Google's releasing it for Australia, Singapore, and Taiwan, and will actually release it to more countries and regions in the future. So keep that in mind. If you are in those spaces and you're doing Google Ads, you may have to go ahead and pass verification. Google has added a bunch of new travel ad features to Google Ads. Specifically, things like Google Business Profiles could show the hotel rates now directly managed in Google Business Profiles. You could do Feedless onboarding, which makes it a little bit faster to onboard your stuff into Google Ads. And the Performance Max for travel goals is also built into that as well. So now you can actually go ahead and set goals in Performance Max looking at your travel campaigns, which is pretty cool. Google said it will not let you edit your expanded text ads or create new expanded text ads in the near future. Starting on June 30th, you will no longer be able to edit or create new campaigns around using expanded text ads. That's going away completely at some point in the future, in this year. But just keep that in mind. It's really creeping up. In the end of this month, you won't be able to do much with expanded text ads. Google Merchant Center is going to opt in everybody into automatic item updates for conditions starting also in the end of June 26th. So keep that in mind as well. It seems like on the Google Maps side, businesses are again losing reviews. This seems like a brand new issue where reviews either are being filtered out quicker or there's some type of review moderation. Mike Blumenfeld said it's been going on since February. We reported about it early in March or so. But this seems to be a slightly different issue. Maybe Google's getting stricter. It's unsure of. And Joy Hawkins says this seems to be a spike over the past couple days. So maybe there's two different things going on with the reviews, but keep that in mind. If you are losing reviews for your business, you are definitely not alone. Google Search is testing both showing short videos and visual stories with an Accordion expansion. According to Glenn Gabe, I saw this as well. I'm able to replicate it. So you're seeing short videos and visual stories in the same result. I think eventually short videos will replace visual stories as Google phases out AMP stuff. Google Search is also testing search filters on the left-hand side. This is pretty crazy. Ryan Muse actually spotted this. We saw a couple weeks ago actually Google testing the navigation, the search tools on the left-hand side as well. But now Google is actually testing filters for product-related stuff on the left-hand side of the Google search results. It's pretty cool. Bing is actually testing ads tab. So if you want to just filter your search results just by Bing ads or Microsoft ads for search, you can click on the ads tab, which is pretty crazy. I'm able to replicate this myself, but I don't know why anybody would just want to see ads filtered, but this was spotted initially by Kashul, and I'm able to definitely replicate this, and I find this to be one of those weird things. And also by Kashul, I believe Bing has expanded that branded sidebar filter to actually add a visit site button, which makes it even more prominent in the actual search results, which is pretty cool. In any event, that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, thanks to SEMrush for sponsoring. Deeply, deeply appreciate them. Check them out at semrush.com. Everyone have a great weekend. Be safe, be healthy, and I'll see you guys next. Bye-bye.